everybody and welcome. In today's video, I'd like to show you everything that I'm planning on making or working on this spring. And this season is going to be really special because my husband and I will be traveling to Japan at the end of April and until about mid-May for about 17 days. And we're so excited. We're very, very lucky to be able to travel and also to visit Japan again. It is our favorite foreign country to visit when we have the chance to travel far. And it's something we've been planning for about 2 years, ever since we got back from our last visit to Japan for our honeymoon. And so I'm really excited. And in preparation of that trip, since it's taking up a lot of the season, I have been planning what I want to pack and bring with me of my handmade pieces, because I think I can pack an almost entirely handmade wardrobe. And rather than making all new pieces to bring with me to Japan, I have a lot of already well-loved handmade pieces that I want to bring with me. And so I don't have a whole lot of new projects that I want to work on for this trip, but I do have a bunch of mending or repairing projects that I would like to work on to bring well-loved pieces back up to date or back in use. And so I want to show you those. But I do have a few other new projects that I'd like to work on. So a few layerable spring pieces in linen, and then a new bag making project that I'd like to try for the very first time. I've never worked with leather before, for example. And then a jacquard project that I'd really like to get to that I didn't get to last season. And then I do have a knitting project that I would like to finish this season that has been something I've been working on for quite a long time now and that I would very much like to finish, because there's another project that I would like to pick up again and work on at least a little bit this season. So I'm excited to show you all of these projects that I have in mind. But before we begin, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am originally from the US, but I moved to France when I was a student, and I have been living and working here ever since, and this is where my life is now. So that's why I have an American accent, but I live in France, if you noticed me talking about that in this video. And on this channel, I mostly talk about sewing and sewing a handmade wardrobe, but sometimes a little bit of knitting and embroidery too, and then sometimes what it's like to live in France, because that definitely influences what I want to make and wear on a daily basis. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy. To start with my mending projects, there is one project that I absolutely want to fix, and it is my dearly beloved trench coat. I made this back in 2018. It is the Isla Trench by Name Patterns, and I made it in this cotton gabardine, and it's double-sided. It's a cotton gabardine on one side, and it is a black scuba fabric on the other side, which makes it extra water resistant, and it's got this really beautiful hold to it, but also soft touch on the outside. It is the perfect beige color. Finding this fabric was magical. It was a magical moment. I was walking around the neighborhood of Sacré-Cœur looking for fabric, and I had been looking for trench fabric for months. And Sacré Coupon, which is one of my favorite fabric shops in Paris, had a table of coating fabrics that were on sale just outside of their shop, and I found it there, and it was love at first sight. It was the exact color I wanted. It was the exact touch and feel and hang that I wanted, and oh. But that means that when it wears down, because I've been wearing it since 2018, so for 8 years now, you can see the black scuba fabric is showing through at the cuffs, at the pocket, for example. This one's pretty destroyed. And it's just starting to look pretty ratty. And I love it. I don't want to let go of it. And I do have plans to make a new trench coat because I find it really, really useful for the spring and fall season, and it's the coat that I wear the most out of all of my coats. But I don't have time for it yet, and so I really want to make this a little bit less, ratty looking, so I can keep wearing it for the time being and to Japan. And so I have plans for the patching to do, but first I want to, well, maybe not first. The patching is priority. I have found a technique by Boku, who is a YouTuber, and they posted a video about 2 different ways to mend frayed edges. So the project in the video is a pair of jeans with a frayed pocket edge, and I think her name is Runa Kunaraj. She shows how to either thread wrap with an embroidery thread that's in the same weight and about the same fiber as your main fabric, or to use a piece of fabric to wrap around that edge. And I'm thinking of using a combination of the 2 techniques because I do have some spots, like on the shoulder here where my bag has rubbed, or on the lapel edges where I don't want other fabric wrapped around and distracting from the, I don't know, sort of simplicity of the coat as it is. So yeah, I'll be doing the thread wrapping for those, but I was thinking for the cuff edges, I do have this cotton fabric that I purchased in Japan the last time I was there with my husband for our honeymoon in 2024. I found this in a haberdashery and fabric shop in Kumamoto, which is one of my absolute favorite cities that I've ever visited in Japan. It was just so lovely, and finding this haberdashery was just by chance and so cool too. And I found this fabric. It's got this really cool sort of sashiko embroidery effect and texture. They're vertical lines rather than horizontal in relation to the selvage. It's sort of a narrow fabric. Yeah, it's more narrow. I'd say it's about 1.20 meters. Yeah, 1.20 meters instead of 1.50 meters or 40 like they usually are. And it's sort of a weight that I wouldn't make a top out of this. I'd make more of a pair of shorts, and I'm not even sure I have enough for a pair of shorts. So this would be a great way to use this fabric in a very meaningful way. And I was thinking of wrapping it. Let me wrap it and show you. So it would be a little bit more precise than this, but let me cover my face so it'll focus. But the edge of the pocket, or not the pocket, the sleeve would look like that along the cuff. And I think that because the background beige of this fabric matches perfectly my coat, it's almost like it's meant to be. And I think it would add a really interesting sort of subtle embroidered detail to the cuffs and to maybe the edge of the button tab here where it's kind of worn down as well. I wouldn't do the fabric wrapping around here. The shoulder is sort of fraying a bit. Let me know what you think of those two techniques, if I should even use the fabric wrapping technique, or if you think I should just use the thread wrapping technique. But yeah, I really, really want to make this coat work for me. I also want to, if I have time, replace these sleeves because they are absolutely destroyed. They are all wholly and yeah, just ripped to pieces on the inside of the coat. And then I also want to replace the lining, the body lining. This is a polyester twill fabric that I got from Minerva years and years and years ago. And I got this on purpose because I wanted to mimic a Burberry coat when I was making this coat. Because at the time I was a little bit more into making the things that I couldn't buy or imitating big brands. And now I'm not so much into that. I don't really care about that anymore. And especially, I don't like this beige color. I think it's too warm and it doesn't really go with anything in my wardrobe anymore because I don't make warm colors like this. I don't wear them because they don't look very good on me. And so it usually clashes with a lot of the clothes that I'm wearing whenever I open my coat and the lining is visible. And also I find it kind of cringy now that it's a Burberry imitation. But, and then also I need to replace it anyway because I messed up sewing it to the vent and I want to fix that. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, it's not great. So I will be keeping the buttons though. I love my buttons. I think that those were a good choice. And I still think it's really, really good quality fabric and I want it to last for years and years to come. So I am excited to get to that. Ooh, let me show you what I'm going to be lining with it with instead. Lining it with instead. I'm tired. So this is a cotton gingham fabric that I found also at Sacré Coupon very recently. They had a promotion where this fabric was on sale. They sell coupons, so cuts of fabric that are already pre-cut to 3-meter lengths. They had this for 10 euros for 3 meters, and so I bought 2 coupons of, so I have 6 meters, and I am so happy because it's this really beautiful blue gingham and tiny gingham squares. And so I think that I will use that to replace the lining on the inside of the body, which will change the tone of this to a little bit more cool on the inside and update it. And then I have enough, so if I finish all of my mending projects, I have promised myself that I will make another Donovan skirt out of this because I think it would be the perfect gingham Donovan skirt in this blue color, and I love it. It's so smooth and lovely. Anyway, it's 100% cotton too, which is surprising with the way it hangs and oh, how smooth it is. Anyway, I put that down. I have other mending projects to get to, but that is what I'm planning for this trench. And I just need to tackle it. I'm thinking of making a vlog where I show you the mending projects that I want to work on for Japan and how I'm preparing my wardrobe for this trip, this spring handmade wardrobe, and so let me know if you'd like to see the details of how I fix this because I will be figuring it out as I go, but it might be kind of interesting as well to see what happens with that. In any case, I will show you in my spring makes video at the end of the season. So that's that, and let me show you the next one. The other mending projects I have to work on are much easier, and the first one is this Helen's Closet Donovan skirt in this pretty thick and textured linen fabric that I got at Boo Tissu last year. I made this last summer, and I did go up a size at the hips because usually I don't make the exact hip size for my hips. I make something a little bit smaller because of the amount of ease, and usually I make it in a lighter sort of drapey viscose fabric. But this one, because it's a stiffer fabric, I decided to size up. But because it's also a stiffer fabric, it holds a larger shape, and so it looks proportionally too large on me. So I'm thinking I might need to take it in at the hip. And then also I remember the waistband was a little bit too loose and it kept sliding down a little bit. So I might be able to just take in the elastic, and maybe that'll fix the too much bulk at the hips part because it'll kind of draw it in. But yeah, unpicking all of this top stitching to shorten the elastic is not going to be fun. But I think that this will be a very versatile, easy piece to wear while traveling in Japan. The Donovan skirt is super easy breezy. I love it. And I think that the white will go with a lot of pieces in my spring wardrobe. I'm not entirely sure if I'll bring it to Japan, so maybe I will wait until after I get back to fix this because I'm not sure how practical wearing white bottoms will be while traveling and exploring. But it is on my list of things to mend soon, and it might come with me. Next, I have this Sew Over It Edie top that I made just about a few weeks ago that I showed you in my last winter makes video. And it is in this really stretchy rib knit fabric that is 100% cotton, or no, I think it's a little bit elastane as well. And it's got this, yeah, super stretchy rib knit texture to it. And it stretched out while I was sewing it. The neckline is a little bit stretched out. It's got about an centimeter to 2 centimeters too much ease at the neckline, and it sort of gapes when I wear it. And so what I was thinking is taking it in at these shoulder seams, sort of creating a dart at these shoulder seam, and either unpicking this top stitching or stretched top stitching and this seam, and then just, yeah, sort of creating a wedge so that I don't touch the part or don't take in the part that touches the shoulder head, but just sort of a wedge here to the neck edge to take that in a little bit. And then I think it will be much easier to wear without having to adjust the neckline all the time. And also, I think it's way too long. This fabric, because it's a little bit stretched out, it does sort of just flop around on the inside of my pants when I tuck it into pants, and there's just too much fabric. And so I think that I'm going to take in the hem. In another project with this fabric, I used a double-sided knit interfacing to stick the fabric before sewing the hem, and that worked wonderfully to stabilize this hem, and so, or stabilize the hem of that garment. And so I'm going to do that again so that it's a little bit less wavy and stretched out, and then maybe it'll be easier to tuck into pants and come with me to Japan. The next project is something that I am not looking forward to. But it is these seamwork Palmer pants that I made also in the wintertime, just a few weeks ago. And I told you in my winter makes video that I was a little bit disappointed that these pants only come up to my high hips rather than my natural waist, like the pattern said it does. And I don't like how the pockets go directly into the top of the waistband. I think that it looks a little bit sloppy. And so a lot of you suggested, why don't you just draft a waistband piece to kind of go up this far, move the elastic into the new waistband piece that you draft, and then just sew it to the top of the waistband so that you kind of extend it up to your natural waist. And I think that would be a great idea, especially because the waistband elastic is a little bit too tight at the moment because I sized it to my natural waist and not to my high hips. So it's sort of gripping my high hips and squeezing my stomach, which is not fun. So I'd have to lengthen it anyways, which means I'd also have to unpick the top stitching along this knit fabric anyways, but it's just not gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to pull it apart, and I think because it's elastic here, I can kind of pull it. Yeah, this Ponte fabric, it's a Ponte fabric made of viscose. I think it's a viscose and elastane blend. It's pretty smooth. I think I'll be able to unpick it without destroying the fabric. Cross your fingers for me. I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna draft that waistband yet, but I think I'll just continue the slightly curved line, and I'll probably use another pattern to model it after, but I'm not sure which one yet. in my collection of patterns that I own to model that curved, and then it won't be straight across, but that's what I need to figure out. I think that this would be perfect to wear on the plane because it's super cozy, it doesn't look like sweatpants, and feels like sweatpants, will keep me nice and warm, is nice and flexible, so I won't be constricted in it. And it's wide-legged, so it will hide my compression tights that I wear because I get horrible knee pain when I'm on long flights. And so these will be perfect. And also I think that it'll go with a lot of different pieces if there are cooler days while we're visiting Japan or walking around outside, because we do a lot of walking around and we'll be outside a lot. I think if it starts raining or if it's cooler, these would be perfect. So yeah, I need to get to that. The next mending project that I wanted to show you is this Seymour Callan sweater that I made I think a year ago, and that I've been wearing a lot since. I love this color, I love this fabric. This is a wool blend fabric from Tissu Emer, and I have purchased it in lots of other colorways ever since. And I wear this all the time. It is the perfect layering piece for the fall, spring, for hanging around at home and keeping warm, and it's just lovely. But the thing is, because I have worn it so very often, it has shrunk a little bit through all the washes, even though I wash it with my woolens and on a delicate cycle. The hem has shrunk about 1/2 inch. I compared it to a newer Callan sweater that I made not long ago, and it has definitely shrunk in length, but also the sleeves have shrunk drastically. They are now almost a 3/4 length when they used to be full length and all the way down to my wrists. And it doesn't keep me warm anymore because it doesn't cover my forearms anymore. And it's not quite a 3/4 length, it's a little bit longer than 3/4, so it's just awkward. And I was thinking of making a new one because I do have more of this fabric that I purchased because I just absolutely love it. And I love how this light gray is sort of a bluish light gray, and it goes really, really well with my blue clothes, like these Seymour Palmer pants, for example. And a lot of you commented in that video, or below that video, why don't you try blocking it and just restretching it as it dries? And so I'm going to try it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to because there's still a good 3 inches missing now, or just about, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I'm going to try, and if it doesn't work, then I will make another one because I think it would be super useful on this trip to Japan because it's easy to pack and wear. I will definitely wear it on the plane as a layering piece because I am perpetually cold on planes, and it would be a great way to bring a warmer layer without packing a big sweater. And so I am excited to get to that, and I will link this fabric below if you're interested because I love it and I'm sure you will love it too. So those are all of the mending projects that I would like to work on before heading to Japan this spring. But then I have some new projects that I'd like to work on, and the first one is a bag making project. I have never made a bag before or worked with leather before. So when I was contacted by Solace Leather, I was intrigued. They are a company that creates bag making kits, and they are based in New York, and they offered me a bag making kit for free in exchange for a video vlog showing my experience, so that will be coming out very soon. And I chose to make the GB701 bag, which is a structured square-ish bag with a rectangular base so that it stands up on its own, and then inner compartments with a zippered pocket on the inside. And it has 2 different strap or handle options. There's the top short handles on the top to hold it with your hands or on your elbow, or there is a crossbody strap that goes and attaches to the sides so you can wear it that way. And then there's a little scarf detail around the handle that I thought was really, really pretty, and it comes in dark green, red, or pink, and I've decided to make the green colorway. So their kits come with the pieces. I won't show you all of the pieces of the kit now, but it comes in pieces like this. Whoop. Those are stickers to number your pieces, which is pretty cool. But they come in pieces like this that are hole punched, so you know where these stitches go, and it comes with all of the pieces that you'll need and all of the tools that you'll need to make it, and so I think it'll go pretty well. And then there's also a video tutorial for each bag to show you how to make it in detail, and I find that really useful because I learn best by watching technical gestures, if that's what you call them, rather than reading them or going along with paper instructions. And so yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. I think that this bag will be very, very versatile if it goes well, and be something that matches with a lot of different pieces of my wardrobe, including my coats and the clothes that I'm bringing with me to Japan, for example. I might bring it with me if I finish it in time. And so yeah, I hope it goes well, and in any case, you'll see it soon in a vlog, so stay tuned for that. So then I have two linen projects that I would like to get to this spring season. And the first one I've already worked on quite a bit, and it's almost finished. And it is the Closet Core Patterns Jenna shirt in this really beautiful linen and viscose slub fabric in white from Minerva. So this fabric was offered to me as a gift in exchange for an article on this piece that I will be writing very soon and publishing on their website. And this is my second Jenna shirt. I made a previous one in a light blue cotton shirting, so in a much smoother and tightly woven fabric than this one. And I don't wear it very often because I think that it's a little bit too corporate, it's a little bit too formal, and I wanted something a little bit more casual. And you might think that a white button-down shirt is not casual, but I think that because it's made in linen, in this sort of slubby, casual fabric that's going to wrinkle a little bit and that's going to hang in a very casual way, it's got this like bounce to it, I think that it will be a more casual layering piece. And I wanted to play with that a little bit anyway because I'm not someone who wears a lot of button-down shirts, but I want to. I think it looks really, really beautiful when it's worn as a layering piece. And so, yeah, I finished the tower plackets on the sleeves and the pockets in the front and the collar, which was complicated, but I did it. And so I just need to sew up the side seams and the cuffs and the hem and then put in the buttons. Ooh, and I want to use these vintage buttons that I found at the fabric market in Roubaix in the north of France earlier this fall. I think that these buttons and this linen fabric will go together pretty well. They're these mother of pearl buttons. Maybe I can show you. So it's not exactly the same color. Well, I think that this linen comes a little bit more, it looks a little bit more off-white. And I think that because this mother of pearl button is also a bit off-white, it's going to be perfect. So I'm excited to use these vintage buttons. And I think it'll be really special on this shirt. And I think I might become a button-down shirt wearer. The next project is another linen and viscose slub fabric that I got from Minerva in exchange for an article, and I need to get onto that project before I go to Japan, so you will see it very soon. And it is this fabric, and isn't that gorgeous? I love the slubby nature of this fabric, and then also how lovely the drape is. This one is a little bit less stiff, a little bit more lightweight, and a little bit more drapey than the white linen that I just showed you. And it's in this really beautiful blue-green color. And originally I asked for enough meterage to make a skirt out of it, but when I got it, I was like, oh, I want to drape my entire body in this fabric. And so instead of making a skirt, especially because it will wrinkle, and I think in a skirt it might look a little bit too wrinkly. In a dress it will as well, but there'll be more structure to the top of it, so maybe it'll distract from the wrinkling in the seat of the skirt. But I want to make an Ali Olsen's Highlands wrap dress, which is very similar to the color of the pattern photos, the fabric in the pattern photos, which may or may not be unconscious on my part of trying to recreate that dress, because it's absolutely beautiful, the pattern photos. And I think that it will look lovely. I have one other version, so I have 3 other versions of this dress, and only one of them is in a linen that I made 2 summers ago in a coral pink fabric that I absolutely love. And it's sort of slubby and it moves really nicely and it wrinkles too, but it looks nice in this. It kind of takes away from the more formal look of the wide straps at the shoulder and the cross front that can be a little bit boxy at times, and it's just gorgeous. And then I have another version in a black tencel, which is lovely and drapey, but can be a little bit formal because it's black and a little bit more stark as contrast with my coloring. And then I have another one that I just don't wear at all anymore. It's in a polyester fabric that I got from Mood Fabrics, in this floral polyester fabric. And yeah, I don't wear it anymore because it's just too stiff and it holds odors and it's just not very nice against the skin. And so yeah, I would be very happy, I think, to wear this, and I'm excited to get to that. And then my last project I have already shown you in my winter plans video. It is this jacquard fabric that I got from Ardelis at the Roubaix Fabric Market in the north of France as well. They were selling it by weight at the stand, and I found this one, this sort of William Morris inspired jacquard, and it's beautiful. It is 100% cotton, and it is woven using traditional techniques. You can see the back here, on traditional looms in the north of France, and it's just gorgeous. And I know that it is meant for upholstery, but I want to make a mini skirt out of it. And I was thinking of making the Chili and the Buttons Ramona skirt with it, and I'm still thinking of making it. I haven't gotten to it yet, and I really, really want to make this before the end of spring because then it'll be too warm to wear it, and then it won't be appropriate for fall because it's spring colors, and then I'll have to wait until winter to make it and wear it. So yeah, I want to make this and finish it and get it out there, and I want to make a vlog showing you how I make this because I think it's going to be really interesting, especially because the pattern is pretty big and I want to do some pattern matching. And I think it's going to be a stunning project. So yeah, stay tuned for that as well. For knitting, I am still working on my Bergliebe sweater by Isabel Kramer in this Poivre et Sel colorway of the Ulysse yarn by Durham Natura, and I'm almost finished. I finished one sleeve, I finished the body, the yoke is good. Oh, my ficus is trying to take it from me. And I've almost finished the second sleeve. I just need to finish knitting down to the bottom and then finish the cuff details like on this one. And then I will be able to wear it for the remaining cool weather of the spring season and move on to a spring project. So what I would like to work on after I finish this Bergliebe sweater that I will probably finish very, very soon, I'd like to go and find, because I can't remember where I put it, but I'd like to take out my Hey Sailor sweater by Andrea Mowry that I started working on last year and that I didn't finish before moving on to fall projects. And it is a really lovely boat-necked short sleeve cardigan that you can wear either with the buttons in the front or in the back. And it is a mosaic colorwork pattern, and so it's a really easy sort of intro to colorwork for me, because rather than knitting with both colors at once and sort of varying between the two in the same hand, you knit each row twice with only one of the colors at a time. And so it's sort of a, yeah, much, much easier way to get into colorwork, I think. And I just need to get back to that. It is my very first cardigan pattern. I've never done buttonholes before. I've never done knitting from bottom to top before. So yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes and excited to get to it. So I just need to diligently finish my Bergliebe sweater, and then I can get to my Hey Sailor cardigan. So there you have it. Those are all of my making plans for the spring season. Let me know what you are working on this season, and let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a video on how I put together my handmade wardrobe for Japan and mend all of those projects. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that, because I think it's going to be an adventure trying to mend all these things, but interesting. If you like this video, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And if you would like to contribute to this channel, you can send a tip through the YouTube Super Thanks option, or I have linked my Ko-fi account in the description below. And all contributions are very, very helpful. Thank you very much. I hope you are all doing well. I will see you here again very soon. Take care and bye-bye.